What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy, Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So, we're getting closer to draft time, right? And we mentioned last year that we made a draft pick in Patrick Paul to be an eventual guard for the team, or tackle for the team, sorry. And that's because we didn't know if Austin Jackson was going to be Austin Jackson, and he was great last year, right? And then obviously Teron Armstead has been perennially hurt, right? So we drafted Patrick and basically didn't play him throughout the year. Now we're going to year two for him. And he's let the team know, hey, man, I want to play, which I 100% respect. You don't draft someone in the second round and then basically don't play them for. That's not how that works, right? The problem is that Patrick Paul is a left tackle, and Teron Armstead is our current left tackle, and he's by far the best offensive lineman we have. And at this current moment, it doesn't seem like he wants to retire, right? So if he retires, no issue at all. Hey, Pat, get in there, you're rolling, right? But if Teron stays, then all right, cool. Let's look at the right tackle. But then Austin Jackson had such a good year a year ago that we gave him an extension. And so it's like, okay, Austin Jackson's on that side. And Austin Jackson did get hurt last year, but we expect him to be recovered by the time the year starts. So our two best offensive linemen are in the same position that Patrick wants to play. And that's the problem because those guys are both making money now. We gave Austin an extension, Teron got an extension. So we're spending a lot of money at tackle. And then we got this guy sitting here like, hey guys, you drafted me to be a tackle. Some of you are probably wondering, hey, maybe Patrick Paul can play guard. Nah. Nah. In fact, he said, nah, not playing guard. I will play tackle. That's it. Which is wild because he's not really playing now. But the idea that I'm not playing that position is good for him being 10 toes about it. So that puts the team kind of in a quandary where it's like our two best tackles already there. You want to take one of their spots, and we don't really have a spot for you to take. Now, there's an idea that we can move Austin Jackson to the guard and then move Patrick Paul to the tackle, but now he's playing right tackle. But he basically played left tackle at Houston, right? So we're in this weird place where you can play tackle, but not the tackle you want. You're not going to move Armstead to right tackle, or you're not going to move Austin Jackson to left tackle. It's a lot of moving chairs. These are actually kind of good problems to have. If the idea is that we have two really good tackles, we want to get a third on the field. All right, that's like not the worst problem in the world, right? Especially considering that both of our current tackles have gotten hurt each of the last like 4 years, right? So these are like first world problems. There's an idea that Austin Jackson can be moved to guard. Now he's done that early in his career. I think it was 2021, and he was at it. Like he was probably at the level that our guards were last year. So he wasn't like an elite guard, which is why we moved him back out to tackle. But could he possibly play it? Maybe. And if he could play it, that changes everything about the draft, right? Because if Austin Jackson is like, hey, I'm willing to play guard, and Patrick Paul can now go to tackle, and now we have Armstead coming back at tackle, now we're basically only drafting one guard. Because we have Brewer at center. So we're only drafting one guard instead of having to replace two. And that changes the whole landscape of the team. But I don't know if Austin Jackson's willing to do that. He hasn't said, "Woo, send me the guard." It would be great if he was willing to do that for the team. I don't know if he is because he's really good at right tackle. So I know these are first world problems for sure. I respect Pat for just letting people know, hey, I didn't come here to sit on the beach. I would go to sit on the beach all day. Let me put a Dolphin jersey on, never play, go out to the beach, work on my tan, wave, hey, I play for the team. Oh my God, you're a Dolphin? You know it. When are you going to play? We'll see. We'll see. But I'm here and I make a little bit of money. But that's why I'm not in the league because I'll be fine being a backup O lineman, but it's fine. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is a problem to let's keep our eye on it, right? We'll know closer to the draft how Miami drafts. Like if you see us draft two guards, first round, second round, then that's something's going on. But if they end up going like maybe defense first round, then you'll know there's probably some shifting going on the offensive line. Now we do have a question about the secondary, right? Kendall Fuller is out. Jalen Ramsey's not getting younger, but he's still very solid. And there aren't a lot of great cornerbacks in the draft. They definitely won't be there when we draft. So the idea is, do you go out and get like a inexperienced corner, like in the draft, or do you go get a veteran? I like getting a vet because I like having experienced guys on the outside. But we do have Storm Duck on the roster. And if you remember a year ago, Storm was like just a free agent, right? Like an undrafted free agent. So basically, when you're an undrafted free agent, you can go to any team you want, and teams basically bid on you, for lack of a better term. Miami gave him 20K signing bonus, 150K, boom, to come to Miami. That's an investment. That's saying we really like you, right? But then it didn't really pan out on the field. Some of it may have been him being like more of a nickel corner. Some of it may have been scheme. Some of it may have just been lack of reps. Like cornerback is a position that you don't miss time and come back from. If you guys saw Washington, right? They got Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints, who I think 2 or 3 years ago, awesome. You can argue second, third, fourth best corner in the league. I think PS2 is the best. That's fine. But Marshawn Lattimore at his heyday, him and Mike Evans would just be like this. I mean, he's a bump and run. He's a smack talker. Very good corner. He was hurt. He came back for Washington this year, and he got dusted. Every time I saw him on the field, he was literally getting picked on. I'm like, that guy was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago. Because he's been injured and hasn't been getting reps, he just doesn't feel like himself. So maybe the skill is like locked in there, but he wasn't showing his skill on the field. And that's what happens when you don't play. Like, yeah, practice is one thing, but you get so much experience being on the field in those heated moments when offenses are like going from trips to like twins and you're like moving around and you're just in the flow of the game versus, oh yeah, we're doing 7-on-7 drills. That's not really how you build a game. So there's an idea that Miami might just throw Storm out there and say, hey, we need you to fly. Just kick you out the, no, say cage, kick you out the nest, and hopefully you fly. Your last name, okay? So we need you to do that. And just we'll see what you got, because some people are not great practice people and are really good on the field, and vice versa. Some guys are practice heroes. They get on the field, don't know left from right. So there's an idea that if we want to, one, stay cheap, which is the biggest thing that we're working on now, salary cap is a big deal. If you want to stay cheap, put him out there and kind of see what he's got. Like maybe this is why I like getting a vet. Get a vet, let them know, hey, we'll pay you $2 or $3 million or whatever. You're going to be our nickel corner. We'll let Storm start at the second corner. And if he starts messing up, you get to start as a 33, 34, 35-year-old cornerback, which not a lot of teams are going to make 30-plus-year-old guys starters. So it's a good offer because you're getting decent money. Florida, state income tax, right? But you also get to go to a team where it's a real possibility you might get real burned, all right? So I think I will go there. I like the possibility of Storm. I'm not like his biggest fan type dude, but I think there's a lot there. And I'm more of a fan of what he could be. Just like with Patrick Paul. Like, I'm a fan of what he could be. The idea that he's making this much waves behind the scenes because he just wants to get on the field and play. I like what that is like as a dude. He might get on the field and be awful. But I like the fact that, hey, man, put me in, coach. And we'll see if Storm is that. Now, finally, we have a lot of people on one-year deals. A lot of people who are going to be unrestricted free agents. I think it's like 22 different guys are unrestricted free agents going into next year. So we have a lot of people that you saw this year that you're most likely not going to see next year, or if they come back, it's going to be on some kind of a discount because we were trying to keep our cap number in a reasonable place. We didn't give a lot of extensions last year. One of those guys is Braxton Berrios, who, guy to Miami. I mentioned this with Olivier Vernon, and maybe if we get some guys from from this past year. I've always been a Braxton Berrios fan. I'll say it. I'll put it out there. And I don't know what it is. He's got the mix of Wes Welker and Julian Edelman that I like, but with not even remotely close to their production. Like Wes Welker was a 100-catch guy. Edelman was a multiple-time, I think, Pro Bowler. Awesome in playoffs. Really big in clutch moments. He's not any of what those guys are. He's never actually had, a long-term successful run. I think 40 to 50 catches is his highest he's ever done. That would be 5 Julian Edelman games. Tom Brady was 8 yards, 6 yards, 5. He just always got the ball, right? I think Braxton Berrios has a lot of that in him. We've never really featured him. We never really were like, hey, we need you to be a 5-6 catch a game guy. But I think he could easily be that. He's got more speed than you think, but probably less than he needs, if that makes sense. Where he's really quick. He seems if he gets some field, but then he doesn't break long runs. It's hard to explain what he is. He's like a tweener in a lot of respects. He's a tweener, he's undersized, but he's not like a jackrabbit quick, but he's quick enough. He's not top end speed fast, but he's faster than you think. He's kind of in that middle ground. And I think most importantly, he would be cheap if he came back. And I think we want Malik to be our third receiver, obviously. But Malik didn't show enough last year to be like, oh, for sure, slam dunk third receiver. We know Braxton can be the third receiver. We know he can get open. He knows the offense. He knows Tua. I think he can't. He got injured this year, right? So he's coming off an injury, which means he won't probably be ready when the season starts. But maybe 4 to 6 games to the year, he'll be ready to go. And so he's 29 years old. He's a younger, still not even 30. I think he'd be cheap. He knows the offense. I think he knows his role. That's a big deal for me when you're constructing a team. What's your role? Know your role and shut your... It's the Rock. It's fine. Knowing your role is a big deal, but also being good in your role and being cheap. Because he also does punt returns, but he never breaks like those long kick returns either, but he doesn't fumble. And he can get you that 10 to 15 yards of return, which field position is so important in the league now where you're 2 first downs away a lot of times from being like almost a field goal range. So getting a 10, 15-yard return, catching at a 20, now first down 45, first down, you're at their 45. Do we want to try 60-something yards? Like you're already like in that category just from having a good return. So I like the idea of him coming back. I know his production doesn't match my optimism. That's fine. I'll be in the minority on this. But I think hopefully he's willing to come back for a 1 year, maybe $1 million deal with some incentives. And that will, 1, bring a guy back that's experienced, but 2, keep that cap under control. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We thoroughly enjoy your time and your love and dedication. We will see you guys next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.